Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another new pick a card reading for you guys. This one's all about what your soul is trying to tell you, what your soul wants you to know, a message from your inner self, your inner soul. If you guys are new to pick a card readings, I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown of how it works. So basically this right here is pile number 1, this is pile number 2, this is pile number 3, and this is pile number 4. So you can pick based on the cards right here, or if crystals help you out, you can pick based on these crystals down here. And if you guys want to know what these crystals are, this is Sunset Aura Quartz, this is Pyrite, this is Auralite 23, and this is Aqua Aura Quartz. So take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find out the pile that you are the most called towards. I highly suggest picking based on what your gut is calling you towards rather than what you find is the most beautiful. And then once you've picked which card you are the most drawn to, you can scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp linked to your specific card so you can skip ahead right to your personal reading. But without further ado, let's hop right into this reading, starting now. All right, so pile number 1, if you guys chose this pile, this is the reading for you, all about what your soul and your inner self is trying to tell you. So without further ado, let's hop right into this. All right, so pile number 1, we start off with the Ace of Swords, then we have the Starseed card, and then the Hierophant. So with this Ace of Swords, this is letting me know that your soul wants you to be more mentally aware of your current thoughts. Either you're too critical of yourself or there's things that need to be cut away from your life, like anything that's toxic, toxic friends, toxic thought patterns, toxic belief patterns, toxic people in your life. It's time to cut those away and also speak your truth. It's time to step into your authenticity. And anytime you have something that you want to say, it's time to now step into the power of being able to express yourself fully, express your truth fully, and have a new way of communicating with people, one that's very honest, truthful, and speaks right from your soul, rather than what you think you should say in a situation, rather than any of this kind of stuff. It's like finally stepping into speaking your personal truth. The next card we have is Starseed and then the Hierophant. And both of these kind of have this like orb that is emanating from the palm of their hands, which makes me feel like your soul is ready to just come out and be expressed. And so it's like starting as this small seed and is slowly starting to blossom and come out and start to shine. And so with the Starseed card, it's like you're finally awakening. Some of you might even be going through a spiritual awakening, especially when it's beside the Hierophant. So this is kind of like deeper spiritual understandings, deeper understandings within yourself. This can be gaining mental clarity by focusing a little bit more on your inner self and your inner soul, your inner desires, what your soul's really trying to tell you. Someone might even come into your life that's offering more of a spiritual awakening for you at this time. But your soul is really trying to tell you to focus more on your authenticity and your truth and speaking that kind of stuff, because I feel like maybe with your close friends, they love coming to you for advice, things like that. Because of the fact that you have a very sharp mind, you're able to see things in a very clear, precise type of way. But when it comes to yourself, you might only give yourself a little bit of time. You might be more of a people pleaser, one that tries to help others rather than listening to yourself and helping yourself through the things that you need help through. And so your soul really wants you to know to take care of your soul and listen to your soul once in a while. Take some quiet time where you can calm your thoughts and really feel out what you're desiring, what your soul's wanting. And I also want to make it really clear that I'm not trying to make your soul seem separate from yourself, because it's absolutely not. Your soul is yourself. But a lot of the times in our society and the way that we're almost raised to ignore our soul and our inner desires and ignore ourselves and not accept ourselves. And so for a lot of people, it's hard to listen to your desires and your wants, because we tend to shut them down and say like, oh, well, I don't deserve that, or I should be doing this and not focusing on myself because that's too selfish, stuff like that. And so when we grow up with these types of belief patterns, we tend to ignore ourselves and we ignore our own needs. And your soul wants you to know that it wants time. It wants you to make time to focus on yourself and your own desires, to really discover yourself and get a clear understanding of who you are and what you want, so that you can speak and step into your authenticity and blossom your own true self. The true self, though, because the Ace of Swords is all about the true, and then this is the self. And so right now you might be repressing yourself a little bit, or maybe you just haven't even had the time to fully ask yourself who you are and what you want. And so your soul really wants to come out and shine itself. And I feel like your purpose will be made a lot more clear once you start to do that as well. The next couple cards that we have is the Explorer and Soul Work. So With this soul work card, you're definitely blossoming. This is time to feed your soul, because with this bumblebee, the bees are usually the ones that pollinate the flowers. And so if you're a flower that's about to blossom, it's time to pollinate yourself. It's time to focus on yourself. And with this explorer card, this eye is really showing me it's time to look within and almost explore within for you. So look within, deep into your soul, have some time to really explore your own truth, your own self, your own desires, your own thoughts, everything like this. Almost use your intuition as a compass to do your soul work and to listen to your soul and to bring your own truth and authenticity out to the forefront. And then the next couple cards that we have is the moon and stillness. And so the moon, again, is like talking about listening to your inner self, listening to your intuition, and also illuminating the more darker sides of yourself, the parts of yourself that are hard to get to, the parts of yourself that are hard to see, things like this. So anything that maybe you haven't looked at before within yourself, it's time to finally go within, have a moment to understand yourself on a much deeper level and use your intuition and your emotions to guide you. This stillness card right here, this is making me think of taking time out of your day to not be surrounded by anyone, to have like alone time and to listen again to those deep inner voices. Be an explorer, do your soul work, listen to your inner being with that moon and that stillness card. Listen to your inner self. The next card that we have is the skunk spirit, know your worth. And so this is a very, very powerful card. So this is kind of like reminding you that you are a very worthy person, because in today's society, it's very selfish to ever focus on yourself. And so it becomes really hard to ever care for yourself or take care of yourself in the way that you're supposed to, because a lot of us are raised to believe that other people always need to come first, but that's definitely not the case. It's like once in a while you do have to put yourself first. And also this is like knowing your worth in the sense of, you know, even if you're repressed or anything like this, allow yourself to shine. You are a beautiful being. You have a purpose here. You have a purpose just as much as anybody else on this planet does. And so know your worth. Have time to focus on you. Take that time to focus on you. Find out who you are and what you deserve in this world and what you want to go after, your own desires. And don't be shy of those desires. Like, come out with those desires and feel totally amazingly good and be excited about those desires as well. We also have the card, the best possible decision and destiny. So I feel like once you do all this stillness and all this inner work, your destiny is going to become very, very prominently clear to you. So I feel like everyone that, and all of us kind of go through this where we kind of repress the self a little bit and we listen to what other people want, what other people think is best. A lot of us have a tendency to do that once in a while. Sorry guys, my throat is totally all crazy this morning. But your destiny is going to become clear, especially with this moon card, and then there's the moon right here. This is all about looking within. The moon is all about looking within the self. And illuminating those darker parts. And it doesn't mean darker parts as in there like dark parts of our soul. It just means things that we haven't touched on quite yet because we're not taking the time to illuminate our actual inner soul and our inner self. And so they remain dark because we just haven't looked at them yet. So it's time to shine light on all parts of your soul. Get to know yourself. Really get to know who you are. Take time to reflect mentally with this Ace of Swords. This is time to reflect in your mind and ask yourself the deeper questions of, what do I want? What do I desire? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do with my life? What do I enjoy? What makes me happy? What makes me fulfilled? And your destiny is going to literally be revealed to you through doing this. And your soul wants you to step into your destiny right now. Your soul is calling out to let you know your worth, to take time to get to know yourself in order to find your destiny. It's doing this soul work that's going to push you to finding your destiny. And with this best possible decision card, this is the best possible thing that you could do for yourself. You're going to reflect back to this moment of finally starting to really step into doing this and realize what a big impact that it will have on your future as you keep moving forward. Because I think that this is something that will have a very large impact on you. And of course, our next card. So there's so many soul cards in here, which is absolutely crazy to me, because I do want you guys to know that I never look at these cards when I'm setting up for a pick a card reading. I don't actually choose the cards myself. Like, they're flipped upside down and I'm picking out cards, and I don't ever see them until we're in the middle of the reading. And it's so crazy because we're doing a soul type of question. We have the soul work card underneath here. Then we have the soul song card. And then we have the soul name card. And then we also have the awakening card. So this is crazy to me, because we have 3 soul cards here, and these soul cards never actually come out that often. So this is just absolutely wild to me. I love the way tarot and oracle cards work. But with this soul song card, I feel like, as you can see, that there's a person here, and this is some like beaming light coming out at the top. So as you start to focus within, maybe some meditation in here, I feel like your wings are gonna start to sprout here, and you're going to finally realize your true purpose, step into it. And it's almost gonna be like a beaming light. As we can see, even in this card, the awakening card, he's like beaming out, he's ready to shine, all this kind of stuff. And so I feel like that's you stepping into your true power, listening to your soul, allowing your soul to shine is going to spread wings for you and allow your destiny to just be absolutely fulfilled in a beautiful, beautiful way. With this soul name card right here, this is like you guys are finally realizing who you are. The soul name is like you're stepping into who you are, realizing who you are, giving yourself a time to become yourself and name yourself for who you truly are. Because all of us, well, most of us who came into this world, were given a name by our parents, and that's a reflection of our parents, maybe also a slight reflection of us as well, but for the most part, it's not something that you've named yourself. So now it's time to do your inner reflection, discover who you truly are from your inner core, your inner being, rather than listening to what other people put on you, rather than listening to the way that you were raised, anything like this, any belief systems that you've fallen into. This is time to release those old belief systems and find out who you truly are. What do you really believe in? And discover all of that kind of stuff. And it's going to send you through a massive awakening. And it's funny, we also have 1 and 2. So this is like the beginning journey for you guys. And with this awakening card, it's like you guys are finally awakening to your true inner self, your true inner core, and awakening your spirit, awakening your soul to finally step forward and become its true self. And so this is you becoming your true self, because I do again want to reiterate that your soul is not separate from you whatsoever. It is all just you, but parts of our soul can be asleep or just unactivated because of the fact that we tend to ignore ourselves and listen to what society tells us we should be doing, or friends or family or anything outside of us. We usually listen to that to dictate what we do with our lives. And it's time for you guys to finally awaken and break free from any of those types of molds and step into who you truly are. And so that's what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. All right, so group number 2, if you guys picked this pile, this is your reading for what your soul is trying to tell you, what your soul really wants you to know at this time. So without further ado, let's hop right into this reading, starting now. All right, so group number 2, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off this pile with the Moon, then we have the Chariot and the High Priestess. Both these 2 cards are giving me very similar vibes right here, that you guys are in the middle of making some sort of change or some sort of transition, or there's some sort of choice here that's like waiting to be made, but it's like a major life choice. This is like a life-changing type of choice where you might have made a wrong choice in the past, and now you're kind of feeling it and you're like, oh, now I have to break free from this, or you're having to break free from something that is a little bit difficult to let go of, but there's some sort of choice that is out on the forefront right now, and your soul wants you to really pay attention to this choice, because when I see this Moon card, this is like something that's sort of like unknown, about to be revealed. But when you look at this card, I'm going to try to focus on it right here. So when we look at this, you can see that there's like this shadow self that has her hands up here, and then her real self that has her hands down here. And so I feel like this is your soul trying to let you know that your soul is kind of reaching for something, wanting to go for something, even though in the physical world you're still attached to something different, and you're still playing out sort of a different life that doesn't really resonate with where your soul wants to go at this time. And especially that's also reiterated when we have the Chariot right next to this card, because the Chariot also talks about choices, heading in two different directions. It's like you're heading in one direction, but you're being pulled in another. And so you might feel this pull at this time to make a different choice or to make some sort of life change right now. And I think your soul and your inner self really knows this. I feel like you already know this on a deep part of yourself when we have the High Priestess. It's like you definitely already have an intuition of this, and you have a calling off in another direction. But right now it's like the choice of like, okay, well, how do I leave my current situation? Because you might still be very attached to it, and it might still feel like you can't quite change it at this moment. But you know that you're being pulled in another direction at this time. And so your soul wants you to know that it feels this new direction, and it wants you to start heading in this new direction, because you can feel it in your soul, like you're supposed to be heading somewhere new. And you probably feel this calling or this certain pull to make a change in your life, and to change up some stuff that's currently going on in your current life situation, whatever area that might be in, whether it's relationships, career, anything really. You're being called to go somewhere else and do something different and make some sort of major life change. And so your soul wants you to know that it also feels this, it also knows this. And so the next couple cards that we have is the Universe and Withdraw. And so with this Withdrawal card, I feel like it's time to take a moment, a quiet moment to yourself, kind of withdraw from all these situations, allow yourself to have some peaceful moments of where your mind can finally rest and really contemplate about what you want and see what the best possible decision is for you. And of course, the best possible decision is to go in this new direction that you're being called towards. But it's time to withdraw in order to contemplate when the best time to take this action is. Listen to your soul about when you're supposed to be going in this new direction. I feel like it's already beginning for you, but it's time to withdraw and start to withdraw from the old life as well. I'm definitely feeling like it's time to start to withdraw from your old life and to start to step into your new life. Also with this Universe card, this hand right here, she's almost like a puppet master with all of these different strings in this card. And so it's time to, I think, also cut away some of the old strings that you're currently attached to. And it might feel difficult at the time because they're all like intertwined and intertangled kind of with each other. And so this also might be signifying the fact that when you start to cut away, or when you start to think about cutting away the old life, it feels like it's going to have like an impact on your new life as well, because it feels like it's all attached. It feels like it's all intertwined and intertangled. And so it might feel really complicated at the moment to try to shift into this new life, but it's letting you know that, you know, all of it is attached, yes, but all of it also had a divine purpose, because also with this card, it's letting you know that even your past had an important role to play, and that's why it's all intertwined. That's why you ended up going on this path, even though it might feel, there might be a sense of regret for like, oh, why did I choose to go down this path? Why did I choose to do this? Why did I choose to make this choice and end up here where I am now with a difficult decision in front of me? It's letting you know that it was supposed to happen. It also played a role in who you are and what's going on. So have no regrets. It's your soul's letting you know at this time to not feel regret for this situation. Don't feel any like guilt about the situation, about moving into a new direction. It's letting you know that sure, those emotions do come up, but don't feel guilty or feel regret or anything negative about this, because it all had a role, it all played a role, but now that role is being finished and it's time for you to move into a new direction and a new space. The next couple cards that we have is Time and New Beginnings. And so with this Time card, this is letting me know that this transition will come with time. So it's like you don't really have to worry about it too much right now. You don't have to worry about like, oh, I should be doing something more, I should be doing this, should be doing that. Or like wondering about how to move into this new transition and it feeling really complicated. The answer will come with time. Your soul's letting you know that with time, this is something that will work itself out. The transition will happen. This new beginning will happen for you with this New Beginnings card. So you're about to step into it. As you begin to withdraw from your previous life, allow time to then help you transition into this new beginning for you, because it will happen. Your soul's letting you know that this is the right choice to move into this new area of your life and to let go of the past, let go of the old, let go of the old life that you had. It's time to definitely step into that new beginning. Your soul's definitely encouraging this and wanting this as well for you. We also have the card, the Wasp Spirit. Sometimes life stings. And this is such an important card in this reading, I think, because sometimes life stings. So this is, again, that reminder of don't have any regrets, don't have any guilt, because sometimes life does sting. Sometimes we make certain choices, and those choices do play a very specific role for us. They help teach us things. They help put us in this space that we're supposed to be in so that we can transition to our true purpose. And sometimes life stings. Sometimes there's things that will come up that kick us in the butt. But again, it's a lesson. It's something that teaches us. The only time that we really ever learn something is when we go through something that raises our emotions to a very high level of some kind, whether it be bad or good. That's the only time where we really make major life changes and we see where we're supposed to be and we see who we truly are through things like that. And so the Wasp Spirit, sometimes life stings. Don't have guilt about the situation, about leaving something behind. Don't have guilt behind that. Don't have regrets behind this decision, because sometimes life needs to sting. Sometimes there's things in life that need to be there in order to teach us certain things. We also have the Health card and authenticity. So with this Health card, this is making me feel a couple things. So focus on you, focus on what makes you feel good. This can be taken literally or metaphorically. So it could be literal health. Really focus on your health right now. Eat correctly, take care of yourself, focus on your needs, and any sort of health things. Definitely make sure that you're keeping up with those and making sure that you're on the right track to getting better if there's anything there that's for you physically that you need to pay attention to. But more on a metaphorical level, again, it is a general reading, so I'm just going to point out everything. This can be worrying about your mental health, making sure that you're focusing enough on yourself and not focusing too much on the past, or not focusing too much on something that's in your past that you know you're transitioning away from. This is like focusing on you, what's going to make you happy. Because when we're not happy, that can actually definitely take a huge toll on your health. When you're not focusing on you and your desires and what you want, does actually have an impact on health. So focusing on your mental health, your emotional health, and your well-being is really important at this time, especially in this transition to this new area of your life. Make sure that you're focusing on you and you're doing the right decisions for you. And with this authenticity card, this is making me feel like there's going to come a moment in your near future or at the current moment where you need to be very truthful and authentic to yourself. So when you're leaving behind this old life and people might question you or you might question yourself, it's time to be very truthful and honest with yourself and with the other people that are around you and the other circumstances that are around you. So a lot of us get stuck when we're transitioning away from something, and we don't want to hurt other people, and we tend to make up some elaborate story in order to not hurt somebody, but it ends up like people see through that anyway. People see through an inauthentic word or speech or inauthentic facial expressions or emotions or anything like that. So it's time to be very honest with yourself and with others, because it's one of the most respectable things on this planet to begin with. And so I think your soul is really wanting you to know that it wants to be heard. It wants the truth to be heard. And again, you are part of your soul. Your soul is definitely not separate from you. But sometimes our mind is so conditioned to be thinking a certain way that we tend to ignore our inner self. And so your inner self, which is not separate from all of you, but sometimes we tend to repress it. Your inner self definitely is letting you know that it wants to be heard. It wants to be authentic. It wants to let the truth be known. And so focus on your authenticity at this time. Focus on your truth at this time. And I think that's going to really help you transition from this old life, make this change into your new life, is to be very honest with yourself and very honest with everyone that's around you about why you're making this choice, what you truly feel, and what's been going on. And I think that's going to help you so much. we do also have this Let Your Light Shine card right here. So this again is kind of like the authenticity card a lot. This is letting your light shine. So what is your inner truth? What is your inner light? What are your inner desires? Let them shine out. Let people know, like, I'm making this new choice, I'm making this new transition because of my inner light, my inner guidance, my inner desires. And who's to tell you that you're ever wrong for your inner desires? We all have desires. They're all there. They're all there for a reason. It's our soul speaking to us. So let your inner light shine. Allow it to blossom. Don't be hiding your light. Don't ever dim your light for other people. Don't ever repress your light for other people because you're scared of what they might think of you. Let your light shine. Become yourself. Be that authentic, true self. Then we also have the inner voice card. So it's time to listen to that inner voice. Allow that inner voice to shine. Allow that inner voice to come out. Again, let your light shine, but your inner voice that also deals with authenticity as well, because it's like, what does your inner voice really want? What is your inner voice really telling you? What does your inner voice want to speak out to the rest of the world? And allow that to come out. Then we also have the Nourish card right here. And this is like very, very important because we have the Health card and the Nourish card. So this is mental health, physical health, and emotional health. So this can be a physical health or a more spiritual type of health. But again, you need to start to nourish yourself, whether this be physical or non-physical health. So really focus on the foods that you're eating right now. Really focus on taking care of yourself and your needs right now, and also your inner needs and your inner desires. Nourish your inner desires, nourish your inner self, nourish your soul with authenticity. Allow your soul to shine its light, and that will be nourishing your soul. That will be giving your soul the food that it needs, because your soul thrives on being authentic and shining its own light upon this world. So whatever your desires are, that will be you shining your light. It's time to nourish that inner voice, nourish yourself, your needs, your wants, your desires. Head into the direction that makes you feel good, because then you're going to be able to nourish this world with goodness. If you're not in a good place, you're not spreading goodness to the world. If you're unhappy, you're only spreading that emotion. If you follow your happiness, you'll be spreading happiness to this world. So what do you have to offer? What footprint are you leaving behind? It's time to nourish yourself in order to leave behind the footprints that you desire to leave. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 2, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give me a really big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. All right, so pile number 3, if you guys chose this pile, this is the reading for you, all about what your soul wants you to know, what your soul is trying to tell you, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's hop right into today's reading, starting now. All right, so pile number 3, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off with the 4 of Pentacles, or the 4 of Crystals in this case. We have the 6 of Swords and the 2 of Swords. So with this 4 of Pentacles card, this is kind of like being attached to something. This is hanging on to something. This might be also being very protective over yourself and wanting to protect your own emotions, protect your feelings, or anything along the lines of this. With the 6 of Swords, this is your soul letting you know it's time to move forward. It's time to let go of the past. It's time to let go of fears. It's time to move into a new phase, basically. It's time to move into a new phase. With this 2 of Swords, this is also a protection card. This is kind of like wanting to protect yourself, keeping yourself closed off from something, closed off to the world, closing off your heart, because of either past hurt or fear or anything like that. So this is kind of like showing me that either you guys have been through something that was a little bit difficult and you're still clinging on to the past, hanging on to the past. It also is telling me that you're very protective over yourself from getting hurt, and so you tend to tiptoe around things because you don't want to set off other people. You don't want to get hurt yourself. You don't want to step on anybody's toes. You kind of like hide in the shadows maybe a little bit, and you don't really come to the forefront. And I think your soul is letting you know that it's time to come out of your shell. With the 6 of Swords, it's time to definitely come out of your shell, and your soul wants you to finally come out of hiding and let the guard down, let the protection down. It doesn't mean that you can't protect yourself, but it means that you're letting your guard down until you see something that makes you want to maybe protect yourself, okay? So it's time to let your light shine until you feel like you need to be protected, instead of constantly protecting yourself and constantly hiding yourself and closing yourself down. The next couple cards that we have is Ancestors and Get Creative. And so with this Ancestors card, she's right here rooted to the earth, which is kind of like what you guys are with this Four of Pentacles. It's like you're being very rooted, very grounded to the earth. But it's time to finally let yourself blossom out here, because as you can see, she's growing from the earth. She's still protected by being attached to the earth, but she's allowing herself to grow. And blossom. And then when we get this Get Creative card, we can see this flower right here and the wings being spread. So it's time to finally blossom out from the ground. Allow yourself to fully grow and blossom, because when we're protecting ourselves too much, we don't allow ourselves to blossom, because how can you expect a flower to blossom when you're protecting it so much from outer harm that it's all of a sudden also blocking out the sunlight that it needs in order to grow? And so right now I feel like you guys are overprotecting yourselves to the point where you don't even get enough sunlight to grow into your fullest potential. But if you let down your guard, you will be able to then get enough sunlight to blossom into your true power, where you let your creativity shine and you let yourself and your true self blossom from the ground into your fullest, truest potential. So that's what I'm seeing there. And then we also have the Gaia Earth card and then the Potential card. So with this Earth card, you are again very attached and very grounded as a person, which is a beautiful thing. But you have so much potential that needs to still be unlocked, and your soul is trying to let you know that you have so much more potential than you've even ever seen, probably more than you could ever even imagine. But right now it's like you need to let your guard down. You need to let yourself be vulnerable in order to unlock that true potential and unlock your true creativity. I feel like there's so much more within you that is ready to grow and shine and step into this truer potential. But it's definitely, like I said, being closed off because of the amount of protection that you put over yourself. Maybe you're scared of getting hurt. Maybe you're scared of what other people might think of you, scared of the outside world and the things that you could run into, some negative situations you could run into. But it's definitely also blocking your true potential and blocking your creative flow. And so your soul really wants you to let down that guard in order to allow the creativity to flow in order to allow everything to flow into your life, because it's almost like you're also blocking away, like you're blocking away your own potential, which is kind of like what I've been saying, but it's definitely like there's nothing else blocking you. It's definitely like a self block. Then we also have the dove spirit right here. And again, we have so many wings popping up here. It's like the world and your own spirit really wants you to begin to spread your wings. And again, I do also want to reiterate that your soul and your spirit is definitely not separate from yourself. And it might sound like that at the moment because a lot of the times we tend to repress ourselves in order to be something in the physical world in order to please other people, etc., etc., etc. We tend to block our own selves and ignore ourselves. And so the only reason why it's sounding separate is because your soul is speaking this truth to you, but it's definitely just yourself speaking this truth to yourself on a deeper level, but we tend to ignore it because of what we think is best. And so there tends to be this conflict between mind and soul once in a while. And now it's like your soul, this is what your soul truly wants. And so your soul really wants to be this peaceful, loving spirit, but also you can still have your wings spread and give out peace and only receive peace and only receive love. And you can guard yourself still while being this beautiful flying dove, bird, beautiful blossoming flower. You can still be protected by being that peace, by being that love. Then we also have the card of success. And then harmony. And so with the success card, I feel like once you begin to open up yourself and let down your guard, step into that true potential, that is when you're going to begin to find your success. And so right now, as you're being very guarded and you're definitely like standing on guard and not letting your true self fully shine, you're blocking away that potential, which again blocks away the success that you may or may not desire. And so any sort of desires that you want to accomplish, any goals that you want to accomplish. Right now you're in your way of your own success by blocking away so much of your true potential, and so much of your true self can't even shine or come to fruition because of the current way that you're protecting yourself. Allowing that guard to come down a little bit, you're going to be able to find that potential and find your true success. And then also with this harmony, it's like have a good balance of protection and have a good balance of opening yourself up to your true potential. It's all about harmony, because right now there's an imbalance where you're protecting too much, therefore you're blocking yourself as well. Whereas you can still protect yourself, but it needs to be in harmony with also allowing yourself to step into the ultimate true potential. So your soul is definitely letting you know that it wants to have this balance and this harmony between both of those. Because I feel like you do have like a very beautiful soul that wants to definitely stay protected, which is beautiful, but not overly protected where you block away yourself and your potential and your success. The next couple of cards that we have here is Insight. And so with this card, I feel like as you begin to let down that guard and step into your true potential, and I think you're going to gain so many more insights about the world that you've never seen before, also so many more insights about yourself. You're going to learn more about yourself. You're going to learn more about the world. You're going to truly see the world for what it is. And I feel like your mind is going to expand in ways it never has before, as well as your soul, your creativity. And I feel like you're going to get wild, radical ideas out of nowhere that have never been able to come in before because of the energetic blocks that you've had up. Then we also have the variance card. So with this, it's like you're going to spice up the variety of your life. You're going to unlock so many more new varieties in front of you that you can then enjoy. You're going to unlock many more desires, many more creative ventures, many more, just like life is all of a sudden going to become full, because right now life might seem a little bit dull, life might seem a little bit scary or boring or anything like that, but all of a sudden you're going to unlock so many more things that you could become and be doing and be experiencing. You're going to have a variety of experiences in front of you that are all very positive. It's going to give you so much more insight of the world. Then we also have the soul tree card, and this is so much like the ancestors card with the tree that's coming out right here. And so literally your soul is like this rooted tree to the earth, to Gaia, and it's going to finally blossom your absolute truest potential, your success, your insight, the variety of life. You're going to finally blossom into some like an experienced, beautiful, blossomed, full, creative, harmonic soul. And so this is what your soul is trying to let you know, group number 3. And this is the message for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. All right, so our last group number 4, if you guys picked this pile, this is the reading for you, all about what your soul wants you to know, what your soul needs you to know at this time. So without further ado, let's hop right into this reading, starting now. All right, so group number 4, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off with the 3 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles or crystals, and then the 8 of Swords. And so this is letting me know, like with this 10 of Pentacles card, you are a very generous person. You love to give, you love to please people. You are very generous in the sense of you honestly just, you're a giver. You're a giver in this life. You're a very generous, loving, accepting soul. But with that, sometimes you can tend to get hurt when bad things happen. I think with this 3 of Swords, there's a part of you that's still not healed from a past situation or a past hurt. And with this 8 of Swords right here, it's like you have closed yourself off. You've closed yourself off with some of your generosity because of the past hurt. You've closed your loving, beautiful soul off a little bit because of the fact that you're scared of getting hurt again, and you're still grieving from a past hurt. And so what your soul is wanting you to know, it's wanting you to be aware of this, and it's wanting you to heal some of the past situations in order to step into your beautiful, wide, loving, accepting, generous soul once again, because you're blocking off definitely a side of that. It's not saying that you're blocking off your entire generous soul and that you're some blah, 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 blah. It's not saying that. It's just saying that you're the fullness of you is definitely hindered at the moment because of a past situation. And it's also blocking your ability to receive at this point, because the Ten of Pentacles is also a receiving card. It's not just a giving card, it's also a receiving card. And so when you're blocked off a little bit, you tend to also block off certain receiving potentials as well, or certain things that want to come into your life, certain manifestations that you're creating, or when people are just being generous back to you, you're actually blocking out a lot of that because of the fact that you're closed down with this Eight of Swords. And this is just like a mental block. It's nothing that's actually real or physical. There's nothing real or physical actually blocking you other than your own mental mind being worried about what could potentially happen. It's like being stuck in something that you know you need to let go of in the past that's hurt you before. That you know is hindering your true potential. So there's something from the past hindering your true potential at this moment, and your soul wants you to be aware of this, and your soul wants you to know that it's time to heal this in order to step into that true potential of your soul once again. We also have the card here of the Wildling, and then also the Magi. Don't know how to pronounce that card, so you're just gonna have to ignore that. I'm definitely gonna call it the Magician at this point because I have no idea how to pronounce that. With this Wildling card, this is making me feel like you are somebody that wildly loves to express. You love to give. You're a very generous person. You do it on a very radical basis, like more than anybody else really does. And so it's like you're such an accepting, loving soul that you tend to meet people, and right off the bat, you are this wild, loving soul that just wants to love everybody, wants to please everybody. Well, not necessarily please, but you're just so giving and such a loving soul, and you can radically love anybody. You can literally just like, love you, so much love, and it's authentic. It's not even fake. It's so authentic because it's just who you are. You're just a very generous, loving, giving soul, and that's your magical power. That's how you manifest, is because you are such a large, giving soul that you just have so much to offer. You have so much there, and there's magic within you, but right now the magic is a little bit hindered because of some past hurt. So you might be guarding yourself from getting hurt more. And it's also so funny because we have the generosity card right here. And so with this card, it's like the generosity that I was talking about. You're such a generous, giving soul. But right now it might be hindered again from past hurt. And so there might be part of you that's closed off a little bit. And you're closing off some of your true potential, some of your true soul, and your soul wants you to, again, heal and let go of that. We also have the Radical Acceptance card. So again, the Radical card, the Wildling card, this woman's wearing a headdress, this woman's wearing a headdress. There's a lot of like wild energy here that wants to be free. And right now I feel like there's a lack of freedom. You're stuck by something right now. Something is mentally blocking you. It feels like it might be a physical block, but again, it's just in the mind. There's something that you guys need to let go of. And it's through acceptance and through letting your wild heart be free once again, and freeing that wild heart and allowing yourself to radically accept the past and the situation, because that's just your nature. Your nature tends to be pretty radical. And so I think that's why all of this kind of like wildling kind of energy is coming up. But it's because you have so much energy, you have so much to give. That's why you tend to be a very generous soul as well, is because you just have an abundance of energy. But it's time to free yourself from a situation right now that's holding you back and keeping you closed off. And it's acceptance of the past, acceptance of your current situation, acceptance of yourself, hugely, and allowing yourself to be that amazing, beautiful, radical soul. Once again, we also have the Groundhog Spirit. It's time to let go. And then so with this card, it's talking about the past. It's talking about what you've been hurt from in the past, or anything that's currently in your life that's still holding you back. It is time to let those things go. It's time to let your soul pop out from the ground, pop out from the past, pop out from the bad situations. It's time to let it go. Time to let all of that stuff go, let it be in the past, and allow this radical acceptance to take place, allow that wild heart to come out again. And then we also have the Strength card, and then Magical Powers. Magical Powers is popping out right beside the Magician. This is crazy. So your magical powers, I feel like there's so much more in your soul yet to be discovered by you, that the only way to discover what this is to, again, radical acceptance, letting go of the past, allowing that true generosity, that true wildling spirit to come back out. You're going to realize so many more gifts and so many more special things about you are going to come to the surface once again and make themselves known. And there's so much magic in this once you start to do this. With this Strength card, this is reminding you that anything that's hurt you in the past, anything tough that you've had to go through, is adding strength. Any scars that you have, that scar tissue, any scar tissue in reality is actually stronger tissue than regular skin. So that is also a reflection of what happens to us emotionally, mentally, physically. Anything that has hurt us in the past ends up giving us strength, ends up making us stronger. If you go to the gym and you get sore the next day, it's because those muscles are growing back stronger, that you're gaining strength. Okay, so through this situation, the positive outcome of the situation is that you've gained so much strength through this. And now, with your generous heart and with this wild personality and love and heart that you have, it's going to be even stronger now. And so you've gained from this experience. You haven't lost. You haven't lost potential. You've gained potential. You've gained more through this. And once you accept that, once you go through the acceptance of that and you let it go, you're going to realize and you're going to step into that true strength and more magical gifts that you didn't even realize that you had. And so our last 3 cards here, we have Create Space, we have Divine Animals, and we have Soul Craft. And so this is beautiful. I love these cards that we're ending on. Create space. So this is all about creating that space, because right now I feel like you're closed off a lot. And so once you are able to create this space once again by accepting the past and letting go of the past, it's going to unlock so much space for you to now love even stronger, even more. And in creating this space, I feel like you're going to unlock so much more creativity, so much more magic within your soul, and you're going to be even more of a stronger, more of a loving, wild, beautiful, wearing your heart on your sleeve type of soul once again, and it's going to be even bigger than you were before. And then with the Divine Animals, this is like, I see a heart right here kind of being healed. So maybe being surrounded by animals, being surrounded by animal spirit guides at this time can help heal your heart and allow your heart to step back into its true nature. Again, divine animals and this wildling type of energy that we have going on here, I feel like your spirit is much more of an animal spirit. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in the most positive way possible. Like, you're very connected to animals. You're very connected to the wild. That's why your heart is such a wild lover type of heart. And this is what your soul really wants you to know, is that your soul is more of an animal type of spirit, but in the best way possible. And you're supposed to radically love. You're supposed to radically accept. You're supposed to just be here to spread that love and spread that, like animals are such loving creatures. They're such beautiful creatures. Being around them, they tend to accept everybody. They don't judge based on looks. And I feel like you're one of those people too, that just, you love to be around people. You love to accept and be generous towards people. And that's what makes you this more animal type of spirit. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I think your soul craft, your magic, is very connected to animals. So being surrounded by animals is going to help heal you, and accepting your wild-like nature is going to unlock so much more potential for you. And your soul craft, this is your soul craft. This is your soul. Your soul is so connected to animal-type energy. And animal-type energy, in my opinion, is like the best energy ever, because they're just such loving, cuddly, amazing creatures that also have like this wild nature that it's like you can never tame them. And so you're somebody that can never really be tamed, but in a very good, positive way, because you know what you want, you know the love, the generosity that you have, and nobody can tame that in you. And so that's freaking beautiful. That's what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number 4. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.